Before we dive into any new material, it's worth reminding ourselves of some parts of this module where we've already encountered importantly social aspects to human cognition. We met this, for example, when we started the unit on human development, where we noted that humans are exquisitely altricial animals and in need of many, many years of parental guidance and nurture. And in this time, they are becoming enculturated, language using beings. So all this is being soaked up from the social environment. And it is fully intertwined with biological development so that we can no more take the culture out of the human than we can take the egg out of a baked cake. We met this again in the theories of Lev Vygotsky, who we contrasted with Jean Piaget, where Piaget's approach was resolutely individual, looking at the developmental sequencing within an individual. Vygotsky, coming as he was from newly Soviet Russia, was particularly interested rather in the social context, and there's that word context again, in which all learning and development takes place, noting that skills, capacities that you acquire, you do so first in company, and those skills are made manifest in a public manner, and it's only later through a process of specific process of learning that they become internalized and available for use outside of this kind of social context. And when we were discussing language, we noted how difficult it was to identify the prehistory of language, if you will. A simple genetic story will never pan out. Obviously, the development of language has not left fossils, unlike the evolution of biological species, for example. And the amount of time in which something radical happened to humans that didn't happen to our fellow apes is very small on the scale of biological evolution. So we didn't get radically different brains, we didn't get radically different bodies. But one small change happened, which has been captured in the cooperative eye hypothesis of Michael Tomasello. And this small change we noted was the development of the white of the eye. And we noted also that patterns of eye contact underlie a lot of our social relations. They are disturbed, for example, in patterns with on the autistic spectrum disorder. And we noted, by the by, how the white of the eye gives the ape in the Planet of the Apes an extremely intelligent look. And the consequences of this small biological change is that the eye sends out a powerful signal available to others to tell them where you are looking and what you are paying attention to. Infants, for this reason, swim in swathes of joint attention from a very early age. And they learn not only to follow their caregiver's gaze, but also ultimately to control their caregiver's gaze in a sense, that is, to get the caregiver to look where they are looking. So despite the almost identity of the genetic makeup of apes and humans and the more or less identical structures in their brains, they have this enormous difference, and Tomasello's suggestion was that this small biological change may have greatly facilitated the innovation that is language and culture. It's a small biological change, but what it changes is not any individual, except for the white coloring on the eyeball. What it changes is the pattern of interaction. And out of that patterns of interaction arises the shared social cultural world that we are so familiar with. So that's enough revision for now, but those are just some points at which we have already touched on themes of social cognition.